Have you ever thought what kind of fairy tales take place in a castle? Well, today we have just the answer. If any of you have ever thought to visit a castle that you have seen in those fairy tales, then you will be enchanted with these 10 fairy tale castles in Europe. Visiting these castles is like living the true version of your childhood dream. Well-known examples of these are King Arthur's Camelot, the Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty castles that can be found in several theme parks around the world. But well, in today's list, we have the real-world counterparts of these stories and inspirations. But before we get started, hello and welcome back to our channel. If you like our content, then make sure to leave a big thumbs up, subscribe with notifications on to never miss out on any future content. And if you're not subscribed guys, why not? It's free. And who doesn't like free stuff? Now with that out of the way, let us begin with number 10. Number 10. The Palace of Pena. The Palace of Pena is one of the world's most magnificent castles, and this is why millions of tourists flock to it each year. The genius creativity is shown in this beautiful castle that makes you prone to see it again. Located in the Sintra Hills, the park and Palace of Pena, or the fruit of King Ferdinand II's creative genius and the greatest expression of 19th century romanticism and Portugal. When the royal family fled Portugal during the Revolution of 1910, the palace and its grounds were abandoned and fell into disrepair. However, the site was restored later in the 20th century and is now classified as UNESCO World Heritage. There is also a park near it, and the castle was built to be visible from any point in the park, which consists of a forest and luxurious gardens with over 500 different species of trees, originating from the four corners of the earth. So visiting this castle will be a complete fun package. Coming in at number 9 is Alcazar Castle. The stone castle Alcazar is located in the old city of Segovia, Spain, rising out on a rocky crag above the confluence of two rivers near the Guadarrama Mountains. It's one of Spain's most famous castles by virtue of the shape that looks like a bow of a ship. The Alcazar Castle was originally an Arab fort. It served as a royal palace, a state prison, a royal artillery college, and a military academy. Since it was created during the Middle Ages, it was one of the favorite residences of the monarch of the Kingdom of Castile and a key fortress in the defense of the kingdom. It was during this period a majority of the current building was constructed. This magnificent castle grew from a small Moorish fortress and reportedly inspired two iconic Disney castles. In the 1937 Disney film Snow White and the Seven Wars, the Queen's Castle was modeled after the Alcazar Castle, with its architectural design and hilltop location reflecting the original. Later on, Disney used the Alcazar inspiration again to design Cinderella's castle, the symbolic fairytale castle of Walt Disney World in Tokyo Disneyland. Coming in at number 8, In Love with the Wind. The most heavenly castle in this list is the castle of Rabadanovo, known as In Love with the Wind. It is the child dreams made true of a talented architect and dreamer, a castle that literally came from fairy tales. And visiting this place seems like visiting a divine castle of all time. The nickname of the castle is In Love with the Wind, which comes from the extreme phenomena of nature. The sun shines only when the wind blows. This castle has magnificent structures made of marble and metamorphosed limestone. All around the castle grounds you will find flower gardens and landscape lawns, as well as a variety of statues, small bridges, fountains, and ponds. This is the only newly built castle in Europe that instantly made its place on this list. Talkative parrots, colorful peacocks, and elegant swans are also prevalent throughout the castle. Inside the castle you will find an art gallery, and also several large halls for events. In 2016, the castle won the first prize in the international competition. It won this award due to its spacious beauty. Coming in at number 7, Neuschwanstein Castle. This castle is situated in southwest Bavaria. If you think that you might have seen this castle before, you are probably right, because Neuschwanstein was the inspiration for the Sleeping Beauty castle at the Disneyland parks. It was built by King Ludwig II of Bavaria to retire from public life, but he died before the completion of the castle. To keep its romantic design, the castle's two-story throne room, which still did not contain a throne at the time of Louis' death, is modeled after a Byzantine basilica. Stars decorate its blue vaulted ceiling, which is supported by red porphyry columns. After his passing in 1886, the construction was paused and the Fairytale Castle was open to the public. Today, Neuschwanstein is one of the most popular of all the palaces in all of Europe. It is the most photographed building and is one of the country's most popular tourist destinations every single year. Almost 1.4 million people visit this castle every single year. Coming in at number 6, the Hohenzollern Castle. From 1850, King Frederick William IV put his long-lasting dream into reality and created one of Germany's most imposing castle complexes in a neo-Gothic style with its many towers and fortifications. It is an acclaimed masterpiece of military architecture in the 19th century. The first personal-related reference of Hohenzollern House dates back to 1061, which makes it the most medieval and the most beautiful castle at the same time. The appearance, size, and furnishing of the original castle are unknown, but still credible as it was created in the first decade of the 11th century. And as you know, it has become the historic lover's first priority. At that time, it must have been a vast and artistically valuable furnished complex. It is also known as Crown of all castles in Swabia and is the most fortified house in Germany. Coming in at number 5, Conwy Castle. Conwy Castle was built in the Middle Ages by Edward I of England. He built it after he conquered Wales, taking control of the region. It is said that Conwy Castle cost $20,000 to build, and it has survived a number of wars. This medieval castle stands near the river on the north coast of Wales of Conwy. It was built during the 1289s and is considered as the best creation in the 1300s, which of course made it classed as a World Heritage Site. This rectangular castle belongs to one of the most beautiful castles ever seen due to its finest structures and amazing architecture. Coming in at number 4, the Eltz Castle. The Eltz Castle is considered the Germans' ninth castle, and it's an authentic medieval castle that survived through centuries. Its unique setting nuzzled in the hills on an oval rock in the Eltzberg Valley, surrounded by woodlands, and the 3 little streams on the side of the castle gives this castle a fairy tale and majestic appearance. Unlike many castles in Germany, this castle was never destroyed because it was attacked only one time during 1331 and 1336. Although it was built on a trade route that linked the Moselle River, which is historically one of the most important trade routes. The best way to experience the beauty of the Middle Ages is to visit this castle, as it is the most preserved medieval castle in Europe. Visitors can still admire 850 years of medieval history. The castle has been owned by the same family ever since, and if you're asking how long this is, they've owned it since 1157. Due to its location, the castle could not be expanded horizontally. The rock builds the foundation, that is why it only grew in height over the centuries. The castle, as we can see today, developed several towers, turrets, spires, and bay windows were added by the family members and make up the unique picture of Eltz Castle. Coming in at number 3, the Château de Chambord. Chambord is the most extended and most noble castle of the list. The castle always remains flooded with visitors who want to see the castle of their imagination. This grand castle is surely a castle that you guys have imagined while listening to those childhood fairy tale stories. The castle has 426 rooms, 83 staircases, and 282 fireplaces. The Château de Chambord, in its grandiose architecture, rivals that of the Palace of Versailles. The chateau has several innovative design features which proved influential in other French monumental buildings in the 16th century, and it remains one of the most famous and visited buildings in the world. Château de Chambord was listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in 1981. The chateau is open to the public and holds stables, English gardens, a museum, and a gallery for temporary exhibitions that nobody wants to miss. Coming in at number 2, Colzien Castle. This romantic fantasy castle was created by Robert Adam in 1772 to 1790. Colzien is renowned for its elegant egg-shaped staircases, circular saloon, painted ceilings, which makes it one of the best human creations in the world. This magnificent cliff-top country house was rebuilt in the late 18th century and is one of the top visited castles in the world. The Eisenhower Hotel is a small country house-style hotel located on the top floor of the castle, enjoying superb panoramic views. Guests can choose to stay in a bedroom or suite and enjoy the country house ambience with other guests who may be staying there. And finally, we have number 1, the Eileen Donen Castle. I'm pretty sure that you must have seen pictures of this castle because it is the most photographed castle of all time. The beauty is in the simplicity for this one. The Eileen Donen Castle have attracted many people towards it. The castle also holds a small island, deep in the Scottish Highlands, and it was featured in James Bond movies over the centuries. The castle itself has expanded and contracted in size. The medieval castle was probably the largest, with towers and curtain walls that encompassed nearly the entire island. The main keep stood on the island's highest point. Around the end of the 14th century, the area of the castle was reduced to about a fifth of its original size. Although the reason is unclear, it was probably related to a number of men required to defend the structure. It is one of the most hyped castles of Europe and one of the most iconic images in Scotland. And that was it for today's video, guys. If you're someone who is planning to travel to Europe, then these castles are definitely worth a visit. So did you enjoy our list? Make sure to leave a comment down below, tell us what you think. Also, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and also turn on notifications to never miss out on any future videos. With that said, I will see you in the next one.